Welcome everybody to Meet with Cheese Metaverse Interviews, episode 28. I'm your host, La Drop with Cheese, coming to you from the Metaverse as usual. Today, I have an outstanding guest for you from London. Her name is Ella, aka Bright Light Art. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today, Ella.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor.
Yes. So you are a digital artist in London, right?
That's right. Yeah, I've been making art my whole life and doing NFTs for about a year now.
So tell us a little bit about your background in art and like how you came across Web3 and NFTs.
Well, background in art, where do I go back to? I mean, I remember having a broken leg when I was a child, and all I wanted was to spend money on paints. I did not mind not being able to run around and play because I persuaded my dad to buy me some paints, and I just sat there all summer painting. And I think I was 11, and at that point, I knew art was my thing, and it always has been my thing. After leaving school, I went to art school. I never pursued it as a career because, financial stability was an issue. But it's something that I've always done in the background. Now, fast forward to last summer, I was at home because unfortunately I just had a baby, I wasn't well, and I was stuck in the house a lot. So I was making a lot of art and started putting it on Instagram because being kind of lonely, I wanted to connect with other artists. And that was where things kind of started to snowball because I saw the hashtag NFTs. And of course, you think, what is that? What is this all about? And then you go down a rabbit hole. You do your research. And then the thought kind of came, oh no, this is all on Twitter. So then I went over to Twitter. And then it all just kind of snowballed from there. So when did I join Twitter? It was September last year. I've just finished a year in the space. And since then, I think it's just been such a wild ride. What can I say? It's lovely.
Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations on your 1 year metaversary, as we say, right? Um,
Yeah.
it's similar to COVID that did it for me. And I have a lung condition from being in the army and being overseas. So my doctor's like, you have to be extra careful. You really can't go out, And I'm like, what am I going to do for 2 years? And then I
Yes.
found NFTs instantly and never looked back. And I think we're the best community out there. So I'm glad that you're part of it. And I'm glad that you took the time to take with me. So
Thank you.
how would you describe your artistic style? I know on your site it says that you're inspired by the city around you and life and color. But how would you describe the different styles that you do in your work?
That is a really difficult question. I mean, I'm influenced a lot by Art Nouveau and Art Deco. My biggest artistic influences are definitely from those kind of schools. I was also very into Expressionism. Anything early to mid 20th century, I'm all over it. I've probably dragged my family to a gallery somewhere I literally went to Madrid just to look at Guernica by Picasso. That was the whole point of the trip for me, you know.
Wow.
There's a lot of different influences in there. Mostly at the moment, I'm working digitally. I was doing traditional drawing and painting for 20 years, but I've also done a lot with Photoshop. In the last couple of months, I've been experimenting with AI. And then using those images and blending them in Photoshop, and just kind of experimenting really. I don't like to say that I have any one particular style. I'm doing a lot of portraits at the moment because that's just what I feel like I need to be doing. It's something that I guess a lot of artists can relate. Some of us narrow down very quickly and have a very specific thing that we focus on for a number of years. For me, I feel like kind of in keeping with the way the NFT space moves, I'm evolving a lot as an artist and doing different things. I don't think that diminishes in any way, shape, or form, whichever path you take. Each are equally valid to me.
Okay. Yeah,
That's an
definitely.
answer. I'll get off my soapbox, I promise.
You sound like an artist. Let me just say that, right?
Thank
But
you.
yes, it is crazy how quick the NFT Web3 space is moving and
Mm.
especially evolving, like you're saying. So that's really awesome that you get to kind of change what your focus is kind of along with the ever-changing landscape of Web3.
Mhm.
So tell us a little bit about like what do you have out there right now? What kind of work? I know you have the Origins collection and some other works. What is available?
Okay, so at the moment, I've only got one edition available at the moment, which was something I put up last night. I don't know if they'll be there for very long. I did mint a few pieces last night, but I'm not listing them yet. I was experimenting with the new functionality on Manifold. So the Origin series is all themed around Greek mythology. It's kind of my take on the Greek goddesses. It's all quite, how can I put it? When it comes to retelling a story that has been told a million times, what can you say? I don't say it with words. I just try and put an image in front of people, and then they take from it what they will. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do at the moment. Recently, I've done a lot where I'm, how can I put it? Just trying to show versions of people I know, myself maybe, in a kind of fantasy or even dystopian way. Just taking a person as they look, like in a photograph, and then add a layer of fantasy, like a dream on top of that. That's kind of the way I'm working at the moment. Very difficult to explain, and I'm sorry if that was somewhat inarticulate, you know? Art doesn't go into
I
words as nicely as you might think it should.
I understand what you're saying, and that's very cool. That's a really like simplified way to approach it without overcomplicating. What am I going to do today? You know, it's like you have the kind of strategy for everything that once you have all the people that are important in your life, their portraits, then you can move on to something else. And how do you like using the AI so far? Because I've dabbled a little bit with it. I thought some of the filters or like dreams, I guess
Yes.
the dream filters look really cool and fit great. Some are kind of okay, but how's your experience with the AI been going so far?
It's a tool. It's a tool like any other. I don't see it as any lesser, just to get that out there than, you know, doing a drawing in a traditional way or taking a photograph. The thing about AI is you have to have patience. You have to be prepared to sit there for hours, running prompts, tweaking, rerunning prompts, and you have to keep going and going and going and going. And then you have to have the self-confidence, and this is where my views get a little bit controversial. I believe you need to have quite a lot of experience as an artist, whether you're self-taught or educated in art. I think you need to have an artist's eye to really pick the images that are good. And very rarely are they perfect. So you have to be prepared to sit there for hours, run the prompt 100 times, pick out maybe one that's good enough, and then you have to know how to edit it, and that takes Photoshop skills as well. So for anyone that says that AI, anyone can do it, well, the answer is no, not really. Anyone could learn it if they wish to do so. So I find it fascinating, and what I really find fascinating about it is you're letting go of control a little bit, because the computer is feeding you an image, and there's this kind of relationship between you and the computer, and it can throw out some really random and wonderful things, but you still have to take back control at the end of the process. You have to grab it, you have to make it your own, and you have to do all that post-processing work to just tweak it, fix it up, and make it look beautiful. And I've really enjoyed working with it. So me being me, I will move on to something else new soon. I know I will.
Maybe it's augmented reality. That's really kind of the trend is going this way is, you
Mhm.
know, virtual reality is like a replacing reality. It's virtual. Augmented reality is enhancing what we are seeing in real life. So I see that as being
Absolutely.
the next forefront for artists to really get creative and how
Mhm.
they can affect how we're really living. So have you designed anything in AR?
No, I haven't actually. We do actually have a headset in the house. I've just never used it because I guess I guess because it's not mine and I'm scared of breaking it. But actually, maybe I need to fix that. And that's a really good idea. I am actually going to check that out. I know there's software available for painting in AR, sorry, in VR almost, and that to me is crazy. I find that really, really interesting. One to check out for the future for sure.
Yeah, try and play some games as well, just to
Mhm.
get a feel for, you know, because there's one game in particular where you are walking on a plank
Mhm.
and they're 20 floors up. And when you look down, it
Mhm.
feels real. Like your stomach will drop and be like, oh my gosh, I am about to fall off a building. That's how real it's become nowadays. So I would recommend if you want to escape for 10, 20 minutes, pop it on and just try it out. But yes,
Absolutely.
I'm all these future technology. And as far as the AI goes, I've used it for like maybe only a few hours total. And I
Mhm,
couldn't agree with you more. You know, it's definitely it's just a tool. It's
mhm.
part of your artistic process. And you can't just create something and put it on OpenSea. There's a lot more to it than that for sure. And I'm just scratching the surface. So as you know, we're talking about being in this community for a year now. You are. How would you describe the people in this community of NFT artists and Web3 that you've met so far?
Interesting. I think we're pioneers. There's a lot of hate for NFTs still in the broader community, and some of that is misinformed, and some of that is from people that have tried it and become disillusioned. Um, the people here are pioneers because they are getting involved in something that, frankly, is very new, and because it's new, there are issues. Of course, there are issues. Now, overall, I still think it's fantastic, and I think it's the place to be. Certainly, I've sold more art in the last year than I ever have in my life previously. So it's a route to making money. Now, is it a route to a stable income? I don't know. There are very few that actually make it to the level where they're 100% self-supporting through NFT art, but they do exist. And it's an opportunity to connect with like-minded people, people that are firstly interested in art and secondly are interested in trying new things. And those two things don't necessarily align, but in the NFT space, they do.
That is such a great way to put it. Yes, totally agree with you on that. And you know, I'm really proud. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to hear that you've been making money selling NFTs with your art. You know, that's admirable. You know, especially in a volatile market, right? But you found other ways where people like yourself who are artists can make money to support yourself in addition to just art. So what else are you doing in this space?
Okay, so I have been for about 6 or 7 months now. I've been doing spaces hosting. Um, I always advise artists. I started off doing my own spaces to help artists in the space, and then from there it kind of snowballed because I got experienced at doing it. People started asking me to help them with their spaces, and then you start getting offered money to do it, which is fantastic. And if you can get a regular client, that's just one example. Then that's a good thing because you can never guarantee when you're going to sell a piece of art. There are so many different jobs in Web3. They don't have to be full time. There's lots of little part time bits and bobs you can pick up. And I'm always encouraging artists to think about what else you're good at. If you're good at speaking, you can do spaces hosting. If you're good at social media, you can do social media management. If you're good at people, you can do community management for a project, for example, with the obvious caveat that your reputation is everything. You have to be really, really careful who you choose to work for. I mean, I'll give you an example. If you want to be unscrupulous, if I wanted to trash my reputation as an artist, I get cold DMs every day from projects saying, do you want to take a couple of $100 to promote my project in a tweet or two? And the answer is always no, thank you. Because if you become a paid shill, you're literally on a one-way track to zero. You're not going to go anywhere in this space. However, there are lots of ways to make money. For me, it's all about spaces hosting. And because I've picked up quite a lot of knowledge about how social media works and marketing just through my time here, I've also done some advisory work for projects. I'm really proud to say that the first project I worked with, from beginning through to end of the life cycle up to mint and after mint, we got them completely sold out and it worked fantastically well. So that I found really amazing because that's about helping people bring their vision to life. But again, it's about finding people that have something that's worth selling. If you have a product that people want, you just need to make sure they find out about it. And that's a fairly easy task if you understand how social media works.
Yeah,
We should have some water.
I couldn't agree with you more, you know, and you make it sound very easy, right? Obviously, there's a lot of complexity to it that you're good at,
Mhm.
but yes, just start small and try. Believe in
Yeah.
yourself, really, is if you want to make additional monies as an artist, just believe that you can
Mhm.
do that and just give it a
Exactly.
shot. You know, take the first step, jump into the deep end of the pool and give it a shot. Pardon
Well,
me.
this is the thing, right? If you understand the NFT space, if you've been here a few months and been immersed in the culture, you have a valuable skill set just because you understand NFTs and how the space works, what the etiquette is, how to behave, how to conduct yourself, how to network, how to make friends, how to use Twitter effectively. The guys I'm working with at the minute, you know, that's the basics, isn't it? You can help to onboard people into the space. And that in it is an immensely powerful thing, because there's loads of people I think that would like to jump in, but they're scared. They don't want to get scammed. All people hear about in the media is NFTs, scams, going to lose all your money. That's not the case, but it can be the case if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're here and you understand how NFTs work, you've got something you can sell. You've got a skill set that can be valuable to other people.
Yes, totally agree with that. Um, if you understand NFTs and Web3, you're still in the 1%, 2% of the
Mhm.
entire world. So we are the early adopters. And like you said, we are the pioneers in
Mhm.
this space.
Absolutely.
And essentially, what we're doing is we're building foundational pillars for future generations for the betterment of humanity. That's the bigger mission that we're all is the underlying tone is yes, we can make money selling art, doing Twitter spaces, but essentially we're building for the
Mhm.
future, you know, for all of
Exactly.
us. So it's such
Exactly.
an exciting time.
Definitely. It's about democratizing fundraising, I think. A lot of the good projects I'm seeing now, they've got a great idea for a business, but they need startup funding. And NFTs is, I think it's an evolution of kind of the Kickstarter model, because you're not just asking people to give you $20, $50 here, there, and everywhere. It's about having a symbiotic relationship, a genuine community around your product. And people give you money, or they give the project money, sorry, and the project gives back to them in various different ways, and everybody wins. That's kind of the Web3 thing in a nutshell, right?
Yes, definitely. It's I scratch your back, you scratch my back. We're in the same community of like-minded people, you know. So it's and there's enough room in the metaverse for everyone to build. You know, we don't have to compete anymore and fight for our own well-being. We can help each other, and while we're all building our own communities, which is beautiful. So the way it
It's not
always.
a zero sum game. It's as simple as that. There are no zero sum games in Web3.
Yes, definitely. So how would you describe the metaverse? Like, what is it to you, and how do you describe it to other people?
Opportunity. The opportunity, first of all, to be part of something new, the opportunity to build something which is greater than everything I've done before. That's certainly what it means to me. From an art point of view, it's about firstly connecting with other artists in a way that I just haven't been able to do so before, and also getting my art out there and appreciated by a wider audience. The internet has always been about bringing people together. Social media, Web2, it gave us that, but in a way where we are the product. We don't make anything from it. We're just giving over our data to big companies so that they can sell it and make money off of this. Web3 is about democratizing that, and basically finding ways that we can actually benefit from the situation, rather than just having, one or two big players reap all the rewards. So there's so much in that question, I think, that I could probably waffle on for quite a long time, but that's the gist of it. It's opportunity.
Yes, definitely. So, for me, the metaverse is like kind of everything, right? It's virtual reality, augmented reality, video games, blockchain, really anything intangible that is technology, is kind of the metaverse, right? And
Mhm.
again, we all have our own interpretation and definition, but they all sound similar to me that the underlying tone is it's the unknown and it's
Mhm.
opportunistic if we use it the right way. So yes, we definitely see eye to eye on that. So you're in London. Are you planning on going to NFT London this year?
I'm a speaker, so I will be
Oh,
speaking at the conference. Yeah. I also
congrats.
go, thank you. I also go to regular NFT meetups in London. There's a separate organisation that's actually homegrown, and they're called We Are NFT UK. But they organise regular events, and they were kind enough to exhibit my artwork at the last event they ran, which was just so much fun. Yes, to answer your question, I will be at NFT London because I'll be on the stage.
All right. day and time are you speaking so we can tune in virtually or show up for it?
They've not yet informed us of the schedule, so I don't know, unfortunately. All I can say is that I will be presenting on the art track, being an artist and all that. I just don't know when yet.
Okay, great. So the other organization in London, did that start like a year ago or 6 months ago? How long have you been going to these meetups?
They have been going for about a year, and they do meetups fairly frequently. I think it's about every month to a couple of months, they do something. I like it because it's actually just something that happened organically, between people that just said, "Hey, there's NFT NYC, we're going to make our own thing." And they've done a great job of it. We even had a boat party on the river in the summer. It was awesome. But yeah, it was good fun.
I want to go on a boat party.
Who doesn't?
You know, it's crazy how that works because I just went to a meetup here in Milwaukee. I live kind of in between Chicago and Milwaukee. They're only an hour and a half away from each other. And they're both, you know, Chicago's like big city, Milwaukee's like a middle range city for the US. But
Okay.
some guy went to NFT NYC this year and now started NFT MKE. So he
Hey.
does a month meetup just because he's like, we need our own thing in Milwaukee. And it's already brought together about 15 people that are building in Web3, you know,
Nice.
serious things, like not just tiny little projects. They're like elaborate, super developer
Mhm.
forward projects that are going to make big changes, especially for like musicians and just all sorts of projects that I didn't realize were here
Mhm.
in my backyard until someone was like, we should have our own thing here, you know? So it's, we're all kind of, we're all going to make it, you know, we all are like-minded in that way where we're trying to
Mhm.
help each other. So it's a great time to be in this space.
Absolutely is. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So you also have been advising artists in the space. Is that something that you still do and are open to advising
Yeah,
people to help them get onboarded?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do regular spaces, Sundays, fortnightly, and that's become like a thing that I do. My friends come along and we just do a topic that's relevant to NFT art. We usually, yeah, we usually speak for about an hour or so, and then I do threads as well on my Twitter feed, just stuff I feel people need to know about. And that's something I'll always do. Like I advise artists for free always. And of course, as I'm always saying, you need to pick up other income streams. You can't just rely on artwork alone. That's what led me into working for a project as an advisor, which did really well. And it's amazing once you meet somebody who's new to NFTs and they start asking you questions, that's the point when you realize how much you've learned. Because I don't think you realize, certainly when you're new, it's just crazy. Oh my God, it's like having a headache permanently, isn't it? I mean, you've been through it, right? But yeah, you get to that point where actually you've got so much knowledge in your head that you don't even know you've got. And you can give people advice, and you can help them. And if somebody's got a good idea, why wouldn't you want them to succeed? It's a beautiful thing to do, I think.
Yes. All right. You hear that, everyone watching this. If you're looking to be advised, you're an artist, you don't know what to do or how to get in, you're scared, you're nervous, reach out to Ella and she can help you. So that's really great that
Mhm.
you will are always advising artists for free. I know a lot of people in this space that started that way. Now they're charging, but it's great that you are keeping it real and just advising people for free. Um, so have you had a chance to go to like any other conferences in the last like year or so? Like NFT conferences?
Not outside of the UK because it's difficult to travel at the moment, for various personal reasons. Got a young family, so it's tricky. But I would certainly like to do so in future. I keep hearing about all this cool stuff. Definitely want to go to something in Miami. Apparently, it all happens in Miami, and the weather's fantastic. So why wouldn't I go to Miami if I get the opportunity?
Yeah, that is the place to be. Let me tell you, they're trying to be the biggest crypto city in the world. Like, you know, New York, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, we know we're the biggest and best city. We're the first city in the US. It's kind of like that confidence, but
Hmm.
Miami trying harder than New York is right now. So, yeah, the later this year, November 27th through December 3rd, there are 4 conferences in Miami in one week, and
Wow.
one's Women in Web3, Art
Mhm.
Basel, Essential Con, and Metaverse Miami conference, all
Wow.
in like 7 days. So it's going to be crazy. So if you can get down there later this year, I would recommend that. Or another really good time for Miami is Bitcoin Miami week.
Okay.
There's an NFT conference the first couple days, then it's Bitcoin Miami, and there's about 100 satellite events at different places for free in Miami that are posh and the weather's great. That's in May.
Excellent. That does sound fantastic, actually. Need to save up
Yeah,
and get some plane
sure.
tickets to it, I think.
Yes. Well, you got time. May is a long ways away here, but
Mhm,
November we have a whole program going on down there where we're going to be. We
mhm.
already rented a house for like 11 of us with a
Wow.
pool, and we're going to be hosting a immersive networking pool party where you get a app. It's light up. It's in the pool floating, so you have to go grab it. There's a
Cool.
whole program that we're doing, so it's going to be a really fun week for us. But hopefully, I'll see you there in May.
I'd like that. That would be cool.
Yeah. So, what other thoughts can you get? Any advice or anything like inspirational that you can tell our viewers here to woo them into the Web3 space?
If you don't try it, I think you're going to regret it because it's moving so quickly. There is so much to see here. There is no obligation. You can come into it with an open mind and just see what's there because you don't know until you step in. I found so many things I wasn't expecting. I met so many amazing people. I've got this line that I keep trying out, which is, a little bit cheesy, but I love it. And it's, I came for the art, I stayed for the people. And that's true. I've met so many people they have the early adopter mindset. They're open minded. They want to build stuff. They want to make new things that are cool. And I think that's something that a lot of people can really relate to. And to be honest, it's really entertaining. So it's absolutely worth giving it a try. Even if you're only mildly curious, I promise you will get hooked.
Yes, come join us, everyone. Come to the Web3. I'm always willing to help onboard individuals for free as well. Companies that I would have to charge you, unfortunately. But if you're an individual and you just have questions, feel free to reach out to me or Ella. And thank you so much for your time and your inspirational words. We need more people like you in this world. So I'm really glad that we got to talk and I got to learn more about your business and how passionate you are for Web3. So thank you so much, Ella, for your time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Joey. Thank you. What can I say?